Kate, do you have any triggers? Like, what triggers you?
What triggers me?
You got any triggers? Like,
Like,
what is there something in the marketing you gotta see? You gotta see something if it hits this one spot inside your noggin. I gotta see it. I gotta click on that thing. Gotta click on that thing.
Gotta click on that thing.
For a while, there was that phrase that was a real trigger for me. It was like, and you won't believe what happened.
Oh, yes. That was such clickbait.
Oh, every time. Yeah.
There's still like a ton of those things.
I know.
Like,
Still, sometimes they get me, and you won't believe what happened next. Wait, what? Why won't I believe it?
what happened?
What? I have to know.
Or I get those, like the ones for food or nutrition where they're like, the one thing or 3 things that you're eating to prohibit you from losing that belly fat. And then they have like a picture of like a banana.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what is the thing? Like, what are the 3 things? Oh, and then they always
you gotta
say,
watch the video.
Not what you think.
Yeah, it's not what you think. Now, and then you gotta click. Then you have to click on it, and you have to watch a 45-minute video that has no controls on it. You
None.
can't forward it. There's no other links on the page.
No.
And at the end of it, they don't even tell you what it is. That, my friends, is your trajectory investment working for you. I have just told you, save your 45 minutes. Don't click on that thing because they don't tell you what it is that you don't think it is. They don't tell you what they don't tell you that final thing that you're not going to believe. It's a sales pitch. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Shocking. Shocking. But hey, look, it works, right? I mean, if it didn't work, people wouldn't do it. It didn't work
for me, but it works on somebody.
It works for a lot of people.
It works for somebody. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it, right?
There's one. I got on this guy's list somehow. I don't know how. It's like some guy that teaches women how to date or how to get a man.
Oh, I don't know how I got on that. I don't know how I got on that list, Kate says.
I don't know how.
I don't know how.
Okay, I really don't know how. I'm not like scoping out. But I'm serious. Listen, I think, but this guy is super clever. All right, this guy.
Trying to be serious now. I'm trying to be serious.
No laughing.
Okay.
There is no laughing on our podcast. So the guy, what was it? I mean, he's clever. I got to give him that. It says the one question that you're asking him. Darn it. Now I forget it. You got me all flustered. Man. But it was like the one question that you're asking him that is like prohibiting him from calling you or texting you back or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you probably ask it and you don't even know it. Do you know what that question, it was like a 3-word question?
Yep.
Do you know what, do you get the emails too?
Oh yeah. I am, it turns out I am the guy writing those emails and marketing. I do it under a different name because because I don't want people to know that it's me. Change my voice for the audio productions.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. But yeah, it's clever.
Well, there are 6 known mental triggers, Kate Volman. There's 6 known mental triggers that can make your marketing better. One of my favorites is scarcity. If something, like for a limited time, something's going away, right? It's one of the oldest in the book. It's a sale, right? Scarcity is a sale. And so you have a discount price, but I don't love discounts. You know, you and I talk about price a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't love discounting. And I'm all about, the price is the price is the price. But there are, another way that you can use scarcity without touching your price is you can make the offer go away. And we see that happen a lot with product launches these days, where you're going to spend the majority of your year serving your clients, and you're going to spend this tiny little 2 or 3 week period actually launching the product or the service or the training or the program or the coaching or the thing. You're going to spend a short amount of time launching it, and then it goes away. And to conventional brick and mortar stores and businesses, this is unthinkable. But I've always wondered why. I've always wondered why like a drive-through coffee shop. And I understand you don't really have drive-through coffee shops in Florida.
What? Yes, we do.
You do?
Yeah.
Is it like iced coffee?
Yeah. We drink coffee.
Okay,
like
all right,
coffee.
all right. Well, here in Oregon, they're like open like 24 hours. But these no, they're not. But the drive-through, I've always wondered why drive-through coffee place didn't launch with a recurring membership, like a subscription. Because if you are on the drive in, if you're a coffee shop that's on my commute to work, and you're not a Starbucks wait in line person, why wouldn't you like make a routine, speed up your coffee routine? If you're going to come through every morning at 8:05, why does anybody need to guess on what you want, right? Tell them you want a 16-ounce macchiato. I don't know what that is. I mean,
but it sounds.
But you could speed up your entire process. You could remove payments from the whole thing. You could make a monthly recurring payment on your credit card. Kate Bowman, is this not like the most brilliant idea ever?
But don't they do that? Don't some places do that with their like memberships on the apps? And oh, you can order it. You can order it in advance.
Yeah, you can order it in advance and pick it up.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, this is the next evolution of it. But yeah, Starbucks has, you could pre-order on your app and you could pay through your app, and they've done that for a while. But I think that's the next evolution. But if you were to launch a membership or subscription to your thing, you could really spend your time just delivering on that product, and you could effectively already be paid.
So do you think when you think about that, are you thinking it would be a paid membership? Like, and is it per coffee? Like, is there a set? Are you getting a discount on your coffee if you do the membership because you're going to pay X amount a month? And if you really bought this many coffees, it would be more if you didn't do that?
Well, I think the price is the price. The price is the price. I think absolutely people would do it out of convenience. And yeah, there would certainly be more value built in because you're not paying people in your shop to spend their time running transactions anymore. They really are just doing delivery.
I feel like there's a lot of holes in that.
Well, you would. Yeah, you would. Because you love a good debate. That's why. And you woke up on the wrong side of town this morning, Kate.
What?
Yeah,
no.
I can tell. You want to get into it with me. You want to spar a little bit.
Right.
You were probably looking at the numbers on our podcast from 2 weeks ago called The Fight Over Marketing Automation. And you're like, yeah, people love watching Kate and Kyle fight. Let's get into an argument about this.
It's a thing.
So scarcity is the sale. It's the thing that goes away. If you don't sign up for this, if you don't enroll this week, all of these bonuses go away. That's scarcity. And in a lot of the organizations that I work with, one of the things that we talk about is scarcity helps prices is sometimes it's paired with exclusivity. Scarcity and exclusivity means there aren't very many of these, and it's exclusive to some business categories. So if you're thinking of sponsorship of a community event, you don't often see like two banks as sponsors of a community event. It's because the organization who's running that event has added exclusivity to make it even more scarce. So if they only have 5 sponsorship options in there, they've added exclusivity to scarcity so that they can say, of those 5, only one can be a bank or financial institution. So it's even more scarce based on industry. Yeah. And so that's scarcity. There's 5 others. You want to talk about them?
Let's go. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Well, have you ever wondered why people, when you are on stage, Kate Bowman, have you ever wondered why people line up afterwards to talk to you?
People line up after you after what?
After you're done with your speech on stage.
Yep.
Like
they line up after to talk to you. Yeah.
No, after to talk to you. To you.
Yeah.
They do this to you too.
They never talk. They never.
That's not true.
No, no, to you, I said.
They don't talk to me. They talk to you.
Yeah, because you just shared with them the knowledge you know, and there was something in there that they have a question that they want to ask you specifically, probably about their specific.
But there's a trigger. But there was a trigger. And there was a trigger.
I know what the trigger is.
The trigger is authority.
Yes.
And it's because you're on stage. And it's the same reason that doctors wear a white medical coat. It's the same reason that in some industries there is a uniform. It gives authority. And it's empowerment. This person is empowered to help me. They have the authority to help me. They have the knowledge to help me. They have the education to help me. Right. So it's authority.
Yes.
And I think it's so interesting that trigger, and, making videos. You make videos on a consistent topic and you put them out consistently. And people will send you their questions because you have triggered authority on the topic. And that it's as simple as it is. You've just demonstrated some authority.
That's why we talk about content marketing so much, because it's such an easy, not everyone can get up on stage and share their authority, but everyone has the opportunity to share what they know, the knowledge that they have online through video, through blog posts, through, whatever.
And if you are particularly knowledgeable or passionate about a certain topic and you happen to be a PhD in that topic, you want to add the PhD part to your name, even though you might think, oh, that's a little bit elitist. No, actually, that demonstrates authority, and that's why you pursued that level of education, is to go get that level of authority. It's not just so that it can sit in your brain. It's so that you can actually leverage it in the marketplace, because people will listen to you differently when you are an authority in that topic.
Yep. So,
for example, Kate is an authority on clothing as long as it doesn't have sleeves.
Oh my
Sleeveless. She's an authority on this. She's actually never worn sleeves on anything. And if you ever see her wearing sleeves, she just looks ridiculous. You are a sleeveless PhD, Kate.
That is not true.
Okay. Well, Kate has built a community. Community is another mental trigger. She has built a community of people who don't wear sleeves. They're all in Florida.
Oh my gosh, that would be the weirdest thing to be known for.
No, you're actually not. It's you guys don't talk about it. You just all do it.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Someday I am going to come on a trajectory episode and I will be sleeveless.
That is definitely not true. That is not true. I mean, no.
All right. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but community is a mental trigger for marketing, Kate. And it's community. You know that saying Seth Godin has said before, that people like me do things like this?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. It's a very compelling mental trigger. People like me do things like this. I can relate to these people. These are my people. We get our hair cut at the same place. Our kids go to the same school. We drive the same car. We wear the same shoes,
Speak the
whatever.
same language.
Yeah, we have the same accent, whatever. Um, it's not even it's not about anything materialistic or surface level as I just described, but there's some sort of a trigger. You're like, oh, we're all at the same conference. That's community. We're all attracted to see the same band, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where that is community, and people like me do things like this.
And I think it's when I say language, I mean, I know you know what I mean, but just people, like, I was just talking to one of my girlfriends yesterday, and we're in the same community. We read the same books. We're on the same like wavelength about the way that we think and the way that we do our work. And so just like you and I are. So when we have a conversation, we'll have a conversation that if somebody else was involved, they would have no idea what we're talking about. And sometimes it's easy to take that for granted when you're in your community, and then you get outside of your community and people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's the jargon, right? It's the jargon. It's
Yes, the jargon. That's a
yeah,
better way to put it. The
yeah,
jargon.
or the vocabulary. Yeah.
Which, and those things I think are so fun because they work together, like authority and community. You know, if you're an authority, you've built a community, and community supports your authority because people are like, hey, how does this person have all of these people following them? They must know what they're talking about. And then that's how some people find that authority figure. And then the language, I think really people know to build that language into their world, you know. And I think it's really fun. In fact, we have a conference coming up in Chicago, and one of the things that I keep telling my team is, like, because we put the whole presentation together and my trainers are like each doing a section, and I said, make sure the repetition of our language is in there. So like we use the language of culture advocates. How do you create culture advocates? We call managers coaching leaders. We don't want to use the term manager, it's coaching leaders. So by the end of that day, we want everyone to be talking about how I'm a culture I'm a culture advocate, I'm a coaching leader. And so the only way to do that is to talk about it in a sentence as if it's like a thing that's normally talked about. So and create that language. So that's what I think is so fun. That's what I love about what you do with your, even how you name your courses and your services, because that's its own language that then when the chambers get together and talk about it, they can use that, which I think is brilliant.
Well, I stole it fair and square. It's common, and it's not about demonstrating authority, but it is about creating a community. And if you really study some premium brands, they create their own vocabulary, and that vocabulary acts as a trigger in many cases. For example, there is a community of entrepreneurs. We're an unnamed community, but there's one word that we just don't say, but we spell it, and it's job. And so I know that when I'm out and around and I hear somebody make a reference to the job, my ears perk up. These are my people. These are my people. We have broken free of the job and gone and done our own thing. So it's a trigger. It's a trigger, and there are a lot of ways. Uniforms are a way to, T-shirts and branding and bumper stickers. These are all ways to create, to merchandise your community, and to create other triggers, visual triggers. The fish sticker that Christianity uses to identify each other, as you see it in advertising, you see it on the backs of cars, you see it on T-shirts. But it started in social groups, when before people, they didn't put bumper stickers on their shoulder. They didn't. This is way back. They didn't have books. They didn't have anything like that. But in social circles, someone would trace on their foot an arch into the dirt. and someone else would come over and finish that arch on the opposite side with their foot to create that fish. And that was the indicator that you and I were in the same community, that we're both Christians. So that's how things like that go way back. And people create their own vocabulary, they create their own symbols, and that's how that one
that's so interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah.
But yeah, people, I mean, I think, yeah, people love that. People love like that, a way that you can identify with other people. And it's fun because businesses, there's a way for every business to kind of figure out how to do that within their community.
Yeah. People do that with college sports are really good at doing that. Have you ever noticed? Well, I was noticing Kansas City Chiefs, this is NFL, not college sports, but last week they had a home game and they had coordinated, at college sports, they can coordinate everybody to wear the same color, right? It's a blackout game, right? Everybody's wearing black. But NFL, they're up a few levels from this. They actually got each section to alternate their colors. So if you're in this section, it's red. If you're in this section, it's white. If you're in this section, it's red. If you're in this section, it's white. And they red-whited that whole stadium according to what section your ticket was in. So
oh my gosh,
that's some coordination there, right? And that's
great.
community. That's community. It's gathering. Yeah. But you know what else that is?
What?
It's anticipation, Kate. And that's another one of the mental triggers. Anticipation.
Ooh, anticipation.
Yeah. So, for example, people are really anticipating the release of our next podcast. We put one out last week, but they're like, we can't wait for the next one. And who knows when it's going to happen, Kate? Who knows? I mean, it's happening now, but this isn't on iTunes yet. All right. So, but the like date-oriented things, and sports are really good at that. But any other event that you do is, if you're doing it well, you're creating anticipation. If you're just doing an event and you think that that's marketing, you are wrong. Mm-mm. The anticipation trigger that an event is supposed to create is all in the countdown. It's in the countdown of this is coming in 6 weeks. It's only 5 weeks away. It's 4.5 weeks away. It's 4 weeks away. And there's a countdown that builds anticipation for that thing. And maybe that thing is something maybe that thing is something you don't know. But anticipation is created by headlines like, and you won't believe what happened next.
And you won't believe. Well, who's great at anticipation is, or not all, but some really great authors. They're great in anticipation because when their book is launching on October 1st, there's so much leading up to it. I mean, obviously there's a strategy behind why they're doing that, but I think over the past couple of months, I feel like there's a lot of books that have come out. Jason Zook just wrote a book called Own Your Weird, and it was like this whole thing creating anticipation of the book, and he is hilarious. So just watching his Insta story on like the book and the book reveal and just everything like leading up to it was like, so he made it really fun for his community. And like Ryan Holiday, he has a book coming out October 1st, and he did bonuses if
Here
you
we go
pre-order.
with Ryan Holiday again.
I know. I'm a huge fan. So
She's got an author crush.
I do. So he does this whole anticipation of, if you buy the book, you get all these bonuses. And Marie Forleo, she was rocking it out with her book that just came out, just like constant, and she's built an incredible community. So yeah, I think that's really exciting. I love watching the whole kind of process of somebody marketing their book that way, because it really is, that's what they're using. They're using that anticipation coupled with community. Because a lot of them have said kind of in the same way, hey, if I've helped you in any way over the past 10 years, buy this book. It's everything I know. It's like, for an investment of what, $20 and like all the free content they've given away and all the stuff that they do. And that's such a compelling ask, because it's true. If you have watched anybody's content for free forever and they come out with a $20 book, support them, buy the book.
So they're using their community, but you just brought up one more of the mental triggers, and that is reciprocity.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening there. They're saying, if you've supported, if you've benefited from any of this stuff that I've been putting out over the years, or if I've helped you in any way, would you please share this? Would you please buy this? That is a reciprocity trigger. And you don't have to say that in order to trigger reciprocity. You just got to keep putting good out into the world, right? But that's an act of faith. That's kind of a leap of faith for people who maybe don't believe, or they've never done this before. They've never written a book before. They've never started a company before. Or they've never quit their job to start a business before. So that's all very scary. And reciprocity is very loose. It's not something they can touch, and it's not something you can take to the bank. However, it is something that you can invest in. Reciprocity absolutely can be investing in reciprocity by keep putting stuff out into the world. Kate, you're doing a lot of reciprocity right now on LinkedIn. You're putting a lot of free video content out on the topics of culture and teams. And it's really fun to watch and see, because people are you're not just creating a community there. You're also, you're not just creating a community, you're also creating that reciprocity trigger, right? Your content is reaching a community. And when they talk to each other, when they see each other, that's when you have that sense of community. But what you're really doing by putting free content out into the world and helping people without a transaction is you're triggering the reciprocity.
Yeah. I'm doing that on purpose. I knew that.
You knew that. You knew that. You totally knew it. That's why you were doing it.
I just love sharing. I love these.
Yeah. So the sixth and final trigger is social proof. And when you get people to share something on social media, that is social proof. When you go onto a website and you see logos of companies, recognizable brands, or anybody that you recognize there, that is social proof. When someone's been published in the Wall Street Journal and you see it on, when someone's been published on in the Wall Street Journal and they've got an article hanging on the wall, that is a form. That's also a form of social proof.
What was that from?
What's that?
What was that from?
That was when I was in the Wall Street Journal.
I know. For what?
For innovation in chambers of commerce back in 2009. Yeah. Hey, it's 10 years old.
Oh my gosh. They need to put you back in there.
Well, I don't want to overwhelm anybody. But social proof and community are also related, Kate, because sometimes social proof will lead people to a community, and sometimes community is creating that social proof. So when you have a community or a club, or you've got a tribe, like what Seth Godin talks about in his books, cleverly named Tribes, sometimes the leader just starts the tribes, they start the community, and then they get out of the way and let the tribe go. And when you do that, when you let the tribe go and they do their only, and they do the thing, that social proof starts to take over and they start to teach each other.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, when creating community, that's their end goal. The YouTube community that I'm a part of, that is, they teach their students how to use YouTube, and they're growing as a team, and they're bringing on more and more people every year. It's been really cool to watch their growth as a company. And it was just this guy Sean, and then it was Sean and Heather, and now they're they're building it, and more people are coming on. So they don't have time to just be in that group and answer everyone's questions. And so now they are, all the people that are working on their channels, when they ask questions, everyone's learning the same stuff, and everyone's kind of at a different level. So you get really good feedback from other people in the community. And it's cool because that, again, they're speaking the same language and jargon. They are doing the same kind of work that you're trying to do, and they're sharing in each other's successes. So yeah, creating community is so, I mean, that's what businesses should be doing, is like creating that world of like-minded people and bringing those people together, and online and offline. And
yes. However, if you build a community out of the customers and clients that you should have fired, you are going to regret it. And so identifying what are some of the traits of the people who are your ideal customers and your bread and butter customers and clients, that is the way to build a sense of community. Because the community, when properly groomed and created and nurtured, you can't just leave them. You got to nurture it in the beginning. You got to support. In fact, go watch Derek Siever's video on YouTube called "Leadership Lessons from a Dancing Guy," and how to take a lone.
That's like the best.
I know how to take a lone nut and turn him into the first follower, because it's the first follower that helps you create the community, because they validate the lone nut. Right. So you don't want to try to if you're trying to build a dancing community, you don't want to build a community around people who refuse to dance.
Yes.
Right. And that's an obvious kind of a comment, Kyle, but you want to be able to recognize. So doing it at a concert, for example, is a great start, right? Identifying people who love to do that. The problem comes when you are doing something to attract and or nurture people who are not good for your business. And worse, they're not good for your community. So if you attract a shark and you're trying to build a community of whales, your community is screwed, unless the whales have that sense of community and they have formed a strong pod, and they will push the shark away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if you're just trying to build a community of sea creatures and you don't know, the sharks and whales don't mix, it's going to be a problem for you in the beginning. So you got to inform yourself about the aspects of community and this idea that people like me do things like this.
That's the best. I love that. Oh, I just have one thing to add that I was thinking about in one of those sections. So Chris D'Elia is a comedian. He's hilarious. And he has some of these super fans that he's created in his community. They
follow him.
They follow him, and there are people out there that have tattoos of Chris's face.
Oh.
Like there's this thing, it's not his face, it's like his eyebrows and like his hair, like it's like the thing.
Yeah.
And they get tattoos, and that is unreal to me.
Yeah. Harley Davidson did this before Chris D'Elia, right? But yeah, when you're actually a person.
That's what I mean. Harley Davidson, that's like a thing. You ride it. It's like, this is a human being.
Yeah.
That you do not know that you love his comedy, and you're getting a tattoo of him. And some of them are pretty big too. They're like on their calf. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Well, I have I actually had a tattoo for all of you. trajectory fans out there, I had a tattoo of my face created for you that it can be done. It can be done in a single color. It can be done in a single color. Here, let me share this with you. There it is. There it is, right there. And you can get that. You can get that tattoo. There you go.
Oh my gosh!
Wherever you would like. You can have it put. You can have it put on your lower back. You can have it put on your shoulder. You can have it put on your ankle or on your calf. Like if you're a runner, I know that you guys like to put tattoos on your calf and stuff. So.
Oh my gosh. You look like a young Sean Connery.
Oh dear God.
That's a no joke tattoo right there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of detail. Please don't get that on your ankle. It's going to hurt like hell.
Oh my gosh. All right, good. This is good stuff.
All right, so the six triggers are scarcity, authority, community, anticipation, reciprocity, and social proof. So there you go. There you go. And if you see somebody with a tattoo like that on their calf, running a marathon, then you can go, hey, I know him. I know him. You and I, we're the same, you and me. You're my people.
You're just a little more intense.
You're pretty bizarre. And I like you better that way. I like you better for some reason. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
All right, Kate. Everybody have a great week. Until next time, get rejected.
Hey, thanks for listening. If we could, we'd reach over and give you a big hug. But since we can't, before you go, can we ask you a favor? In order for us to create shows you can't wait to listen to, we need your feedback. So please head over to iTunes and leave us a review. It'll only take a minute, but it will mean the world to us, especially if you decide to give us 5 stars. And if you really loved it, take a screenshot, share it on your favorite social media sites, and invite your friends to join the party. Until next time, get trajected. Done. That was a great show.
That was a great show.
You know what I love about that?
It's a list.
Yes. I love that it's a list, and I love how you do this. That was so great.